Going on, Pulsicans? How are we doing out there today in the crypto land of Pulse Chain, where things are just running sideways and seems like we're getting a little bit of downward pressure today? I'm not sure. It's just kind of hanging out. We'll see what happens with Rec Timber. I don't know. That's a lot of the narrative I see right now on Twitter. But guys, this is the DeFi Crypto Alliance show where we're doing our best to bring our entrepreneurial friends, bring you guys along and bridge crypto, where we're going to use as a wealth creation tool, and real estate as a wealth preservation tool. Of course, down the road, we want to make our mad gains in crypto first and then bring it in and preserve that wealth through real estate, maybe some tax strategy trust. If you guys want to move to Puerto Rico, obviously that's an option too if you're in the United States, or there's other tax shelter places that you can move to. But guys, that's what we really are passionate about, is that wealth creation and wealth preservation. But in the meantime, man, what a journey this has been. And guys, I was watching Crypto 7's show today, and I was fascinated by his knowledge actually on the market. I'm always fascinated by the stuff that he talks about with the market, what's going on, what data points he's using. And so I was like, man, it'd be really good to get him on today, talk about and kind of dissect some of those data points, man. So I love Crypto 7, everything he does for our community. He's got an absolutely massive following. A lot of you guys who follow me, follow him, which is great. And he adds a lot of value to this community. And so, man, without further ado, I want to bring up the myth, the man, the legend, Mr. Crypto 7. What's up, bro, man? Welcome to the stage. I appreciate you coming on today, man. Thank you.
Oh, it's always a pleasure coming on, Corey. My favorite channel, I think. It's really enjoy watching you guys. You and Dane as well. You're a great double actor. Really, it's really good fun to watch you guys. I try to tune in. It's convenient timing as well for me, but I try to tune in and watch you guys every single day. You're doing a fantastic job, and I think you complement each other really well, because you're the energy guy, and Dane's kind of like the more chill, and it just works beautifully. You know, it's like chocolate and strawberries. But anyway, I'm a massive fan of your channel, and anyone who's come over and not subscribed, make sure to tap the bell, because he's also a live streamer. And yeah, you do a fantastic job, dude.
Appreciate it, man. We thank you very much. And I watch your show almost every day. Your time adjusts sometimes. It's usually when I'm in the gym. Like, I'm in the gym, I get up in the morning, I go hit, I do 5-mile runs. And it's, you and, of course, Sami, who I listen to the most. And, yeah, it's great content, man. I'm always learning. In fact, today, man, I was listening, and that's what I really want to talk about is you were talking about NVIDIA and their earning reports, and how, like, that is the kind of the safety net that crypto is floating on right now. And I thought that was really fascinating, how you correlated that. Kind of, if you want to talk more about that, that'd be great. And I also want to talk about how I didn't think about this. Like, why would BlackRock be buying ETH when they know Grayscale is just going to keep dumping on their head? Like,
the exit liquidity, aren't they? So yeah, so I think they're just keeping it down while Grayscale sell it all. Fantastic. Well, I mean, I've been really bored and really frustrated and really impatient, and yeah, same as everyone. But this morning I woke up and I was so happy, because I realized, and I don't think people realize, we've had a massive lucky escape. Everyone, and certainly in Hex and Pulse Chain, everyone in crypto, but in particular in the high risk assets, the ones that make us all the money, we've had a massive lucky escape with the NVIDIA earnings. Because I woke up this morning and Bitcoin was 59,000. The NVIDIA earnings were above expectation, as always.
Yes,
surprise. But Bitcoin was 59K, and Ethereum was 2.5K. And I thought, where would we be? Because we've had a couple of small black swans, really little black swans with little beaks, but we had a couple of black swans in the last week since Chepstow, where I was last weekend. We've had 2 black swans, obviously. One is this incredible move. We can talk about this more later in the stream, but this incredible move of Gensler to issue a Wells notice the day after Trump launched his NFTs. Yeah, exactly, man. It's crazy, isn't it? He literally must have just rung the in-house lawyers and said, "Get here now. Let's produce a Wells notice," and then they issued it. I mean, the timing's like, it's literally a reaction to Trump. So they're not non-partisan. They're obviously completely biased. And as I said in my stream this morning, he's basically the turkey, and he knows he's going to get eaten at Christmas. So he's acting, and you can see why he would. But and then of course the other big black swan, and a lot of people call a lot of things black swans which aren't black swans. You've actually got black swans, grey swans, and white swans. But in the case of the Ton founder being arrested, Telegram founder being arrested in France, that's a complete black swan, because nobody would have expected him to be hauled into the French prison or police station to face charges of 25 years and things. I mean, complete black swan. So we've had that, and it has impacted crypto. I've been watching all the mainstream finance channels, and they're all talking about the impact.
That's all in their news.
Yeah, yeah. I was hoping they'd just be talking about Telegram and free speech and all that stuff, but they are talking about the Telegram's coin, and so it has had a big ripple effect, and it was a black swan because nobody would have seen it coming. Least of all the Telegram founder who went for French citizenship, and he wishes he hadn't done that. And then, as I say, this Gensler move. So these are two nasty little black swans, and in a time when we know that crypto is quiet anyway, I had the Nvidia earnings not come out insanely high as they tend to do. I mean, I've heard somebody talk about this, I think, in a different context, and he's absolutely right that sooner or later we're going to get disappointed with these Nvidia results. You know, they can't keep exceeding expectations, and the market's getting more and more greedy in what they're expecting. I think they were expecting 27 billion, they got 30 billion, but sooner or later they're going to be disappointed. Of course, the next quarter is December. We want to see some big crypto gains before then. But I am so happy today because I realize that had the numbers been disappointing, and to be honest, they weren't quite as high as they could have been, because it's only about a 10% above the expectation, isn't it? 27 to 30. It could quite easily have been, it could quite easily have been bad. And there's some issues with some of the chip production. So it was a bit borderline, and I think Bitcoin would have crashed below a lot of currently supports. And as I said in my stream this morning, if we lose these support lines, 48, 45, I think 41, I think we'd have crashed through them all like butter, like a hot butter. And then of course they become massive ceilings. They become massive concrete ceilings, and you're trying to chisel through them with a spoon or something. It's not easy. It's not good. It's not like, oh yeah, we've dipped down to 25, but we'll ping back to 100K in September. No, or October or November. No, it's not going to happen. So it was very important that. So I think basically Nvidia saved us. I think it saved all of crypto, and not least high risk cryptos. The ones that make you life changing gains, which are down the risk corridor. I mean, Bitcoin went to its 30s, as Benjamin Cowen said it could have done. Then Ethereum would have gone to 1,000, and then you don't want to know where Pulse Chain would have gone. And of course, we're only about 4% above the all-time low now. So at that point, people are going to be really completely. I mean, I don't even know what you do at that point. I mean, you could just capitulate as a coping mechanism. That might be what some people would do, sort of rage quit. Or because it's just crazy, because obviously we're 99% down now. Had the Nvidia earnings come out bad, we would now be looking at 99.9% down in Hex. So I've got good news for you. If you're feeling bored and frustrated, we had a sliding doors moment. If you've seen the Gwyneth Paltrow movie, it was when she was hot. Watch it, guys, if you haven't seen it. But basically, in the sliding doors moment, there's two scenarios, and we were faced with two scenarios. One was the Nvidia earnings were going to be bad, and then we would have been completely wrecked in crypto. All of us would have been completely wrecked, because we've had these two little black swans, and had the Nvidia earnings, of course, everyone knows we're massively tied to NASDAQ now. So had the Nvidia earnings been bad as well, that would have sent us down, particularly at the time of year as well. Maybe we'd have got away with it in October, November, but we weren't going to get away with it at the end of August and September. So be very, very happy, boys and girls, because we have just had an absolute lucky escape, and we can thank Nvidia and their CEO, who came on in his shirt and tie explaining how there's no problems and don't worry about the chip production and everything else, saying all the right things, and the market's digesting. Typically what happens is the market digests the Nvidia numbers and doesn't go up immediately. Takes a day or two, and then it forms like a foundation for some massive move in the stock market over the next period, 6 weeks, 8 weeks, whatever the rally period is. So that's great. I'm just, as I say, I'm just so happy, guys, genuinely, and I'm so pleased for everyone, because I wouldn't want to see hexagons another 90% down, which is
Oh.
actually what we came very close to this morning. In my opinion, I've not heard anyone else say this, but that's what I think. You've got two black swans, the Telegram guy, you've got Gary Gensler completely acting in a completely childish way. I did think when he got completely humiliated at the Bitcoin conference that we'd have blowback from that, Corey, because when go on.
It's ego. Like, I mean, why wouldn't he blow back and find a way to get back at Trump? Like that's just an ego right there, an ego move.
100%, man. Top level guys don't like to be ridiculed. He was humiliated. The way that for anyone who didn't watch the conference or has got short memory, so when Trump got a fantastic reaction from the Bitcoin boys to him saying he was going to sack Gensler, he then repeated it, and they all started standing and cheering, and
crowd roared.
A moment of humiliation for Gensler, and he's obviously gone, right, I'm gonna get you, dude. And so he's working for Harris now. That's clear. He should be nonpartisan, shouldn't he? You're American. He's meant to be independent, isn't he? He's not meant to be democratic.
He's not supposed to be, but that's not how politics work, especially here in America. It's funny you talk about NVIDIA, and I'm a big fan of Ray Dalio, who's he's written some great books, and he said this would be the AI narrative, this stock market bull run. The AI narrative is what's going to really propel it, the way the internet narrative propelled the stock market in the 90s. And when NVIDIA still, coming out with higher earnings, making all-time new highs, all these, things that we can't believe are happening, I'm starting to think that Ray Dalio might have been onto something when he was talking about that. And it could be, the AI narrative and kind of the building of this technology and the NVIDIA. I remember when NVIDIA was just a gaming. I used to, about 20 years ago, I used to build gaming rigs. I used to love video games. And I remember that they would sell gaming cards for your rig. Like,
so
and now they're
business.
Yeah, they still, but now that there's this big AI company that's, worth billions and billions of dollars, they're nothing like they were.
I think it's still just GPU. So, it's still just gaming cards. And it's, I started my crypto journey in 2016, mining Ethereum. So I used to be buying all the NVIDIA cards. Yeah, I used to be stuffing them into mining rigs until they smoked. It was good fun. Didn't make any money out of it, but it was good fun. Because I sold all my mining gear, bought Ethereum, and never looked back. But yeah. So, it's still just GPUs. And the thing with GPUs is they use a lot of electricity, and you just can't get enough demand for them because of the growth of AI. And that's why things like Render, which allows you, when you're not playing your games, to plug into this like grid where you basically provide your gaming power, your computation power for the GPUs, and it goes straight into the AI. I completely agree with your comments about Ray Dalio and AI. One of the fantastic things about AI is it's actually something that does something, which is because Hex and Pulse Chain, we are very much positioned to be cryptos that do things, So the fact that we're moving into this stage of the cycle is fantastic. I was talking about AI all the way through 2022. Everyone that subscribed to my channel knows that, and recommending certain cryptos. I did very well.
I was watching then.
Yeah, I did very well in Fetch, and then I didn't like this idea of Ocean and Fetch and the other one, Singularity, merging. So I de-risked a bit then, and I've signaled to my members and to my viewers, I've told everyone that I'm going back into Fetch. It looks like the market likes the merge now. So it lost quite a bit of value, went down from about $3 to $1. It's going back up now. I think that's going to do very well. But obviously I'm massively bullish on Pulse Chain, but I've always been a guy who's invested in different cryptos, and thank goodness, because otherwise I've had to go and get a job. If I wasn't in lots of cryptos, I would be literally, that meme would apply to me. I would be working in McDonald's, but fortunately, I'll never need to work in McDonald's. So no, that's fantastic. Yeah,
a little diversification saved your butt during this cycle.
It did, yeah. Which still doesn't mean that Hex and Pulse Chain won't outperform everything I'm invested in, but it means at least I've got something I can live on. So I also did very well with Solana. I was buying it at $8, and people now I'm going to sell all my bag at $400. It's one of the reasons I'm able to bankroll my meme coin, which we'll probably mention briefly later. But that has helped me. If I was a betting man and said at the end of this bull market in October 2025, what's going to do best, it's probably going to be RH's coins, because the best coins only really perform on the last sort of 6 to 12 weeks of the cycle. That's just what they do. You know, but it's been handy. It's been handy to be diversified. I must admit, it's been very, very handy to be diversified.
That's good, yeah. And I love how you diversify. And I remember I actually learned this from you. You're like, well, if you're diversifying into coins where you have the same community, it's not so much diversification. Then you're just kind of sharing the same community again.
It's more cabins on the Titanic. It's more cabins on the Titanic.
Right. You have to kind of get out of the box a little bit if you want the diversification, and maybe go into some different narratives like gaming. You know, gaming was huge last cycle. I remember that. I actually made some money on gaming tokens the last cycle, and they'll probably have a good narrative this cycle too. I know AVAX. You see like Alex Becker talking about gaming tokens on AVAX, and they'll probably catch a bid this cycle. I imagine.
Well, in 2023, I mean, the second half of 2023 was quite good. No, the first half of 2023 was quite good, and gaming did well then. And then it took a lot of the gains away from you in the latter half of 2023, and then 2024 started fantastically, and then we've had this awful 6 months. But what I'm saying to everyone is, you know, don't feel sad, don't feel frustrated, don't feel bored, don't feel impatient, because you've just had the luckiest escape of your life, and you didn't know it. You know it now. If the Nvidia numbers had just been a bit lower, there'd been just a little bit more uncertainty around BlackRock,
the stock market,
we'd have been absolutely screwed, guys.
I love it, man. I love that you dive into this data every single day. You're on the opposite side of the world for me. And I don't know, France. I've never even been there, actually. I would love to go visit one day. But like, what do you think is his odds of like escaping that 25 years? Is it like, you think it's pretty probable he might get that? Like, is that that's on the table? Like France, you think it might smack him with that? I know they're talking about it. But like, what do you think? I mean, how strict are they over there?
Presque certain il va libre. Yeah, he's almost certainly going to be free, I think, because one of the things that's happened is that the Dubai government have intervened, which is really, really interesting. I mean,
interesting.
Yeah, isn't it? I mean, if you put the money aside, this crypto game's almost worth playing just for the sheer fascination of it all. I mean,
it's so entertaining.
It's so entertaining. So the Dubai government are buying loads of fighter jets from the French, and they are so appalled by what they've done to the Telegram guy that they've cancelled the order, or they've frozen the order, I should say.
I did not know this.
Yeah, and big money talks, and so people are saying, "Oh, you know, I think's why I thought they'll free him quite quickly now." Unless it's changed in the last few hours. The last I heard was he's no longer in a police in custody, but he's not allowed to leave the country. And the United Arab Emirates, I think it's the UAE, are putting a lot of pressure on the French government to release him. And we have got to this point now in the world where the dictatorship countries are actually telling the supposed free world that they're acting unreasonably, and we're seeing this quite a bit. That actually you get more human rights now in places like Dubai.
It's crazy.
In places like my country. In my country, we've still got freedom of speech. You like this, Corey? We've still got freedom of speech, but if we exercise it, we might not stay free for very long. It's actually crazy. Guys are getting locked up for saying something on Facebook. I mean, you could get drunk, say something on Facebook, and that's it. They're throwing the key away. So
I mean, it's the same here in the United States too. I feel like we're not that different. We're supposed to have freedom of speech and all these freedoms, to be honest with you, that they're slowly just kind of stripping away. It's like, what is that old analogy? You boil the frog slowly, and the frog will never notice he's getting boiled. He's going to die. Like, that's literally us. I feel like in many ways, and it's just a matter of time. And crypto is one of the few things that gives us that freedom back. And that's why we're in love with this asset. Besides the number,
the crypto bros are the ones that know the saucepan's getting hot and know to jump out, don't they?
Yes, exactly. Which is like, I got one leg out right now myself. I'm out in Puerto Rico doing this thing. See how this goes. I know guys who went to St. Kitts to get a passport there, and basically there they renounced the citizenship, guys in Panama. And so like the crypto guys, they're not afraid to do this, and they're kind of like, they're exiting because they see the writing on the wall. Now I think things can shift if November plays out the way I hope it does. So we'll see. That's
What's your gut on that? Do you think you're American? What's your gut on that? Do you think Trump will win?
We could keep him alive.
Yeah, I heard you say that. Yeah, I know. It's not even a joke, is it?
It's not. Like, it's not, man. I mean, like, they had to land his airplane. This is like 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago. They had to land his airplane. They said there was a maintenance problem, but like, come on. Like, they're not done. They're not done. Deep State's not done yet. And he's got a couple more months to live through this. And yeah, I mean, he's going to, which is crazy. He's going to like Bitcoin conferences. He was in Phoenix, Arizona just the other day, which is my hometown. And he was out there, with a rally. I was like, man, bro, like, I mean, I love that he's doing that. But at the same time, like, man, how are you going to keep your ass alive if you're out there beating the drum everywhere in public? I'm like, but we'll see what happens, man.
That's really interesting. And she's not doing any interviews, is she? I mean, that's incredible.
No,
she's not doing interviews.
She did a rally where she went and did a talk. She used AI to like make it look like the crowd was full. They had curtains over a part of the seats. Like, all of it's manipulated with the numbers with her. I mean, it's bad, man. It's bad. But like, so I think the odds are good, Crypto7. I really do. Like, all my friends, man, they want Trump in. Like, all my entrepreneurial friends, my real estate buddies, like all the masterminds I'm in, like that's all they talk about. Like, and they dread the idea of Harris getting in, especially now with this new like 44% tax on your unrealized gains. Get the F out of here, 44. No way, man. What's that?
That would backfire so bad because these rich guys would have to sell their stock to be able to pay it.
To pay that.
And then, and then that would crash the markets, completely crash the markets. And
it's massive, dude. It's unrealistic type of protocol that they want to implement that would absolutely wreck the economy. But like,
it's suicide. So I think people realize that, and I think when she does do an interview, she gets the questions in advance and she gets to have her VP on with her. So they know what all the questions are going to be, and it's pre-recorded. That's not an interview, is it? You might as well just not bother having her on at all.
Yeah, they got a name for that. It's called a puppet. She's a puppet.
Yeah, man, puppet, definitely. Going to do the last question on this. Is she still going to do the debate with Trump in September?
But as of right now, I don't think so. From what I heard, I don't think so right now. I mean, he's trying. Yeah. And for me, man, it's not in the money piece is great, and the economy is great, but like there's some moral stuff too, that underlying moral stuff that I don't agree with. That if they got in office, that's just not my that's not where I stand. I got 2 daughters. I have a 14-year-old daughter. I got a 3-year-old daughter, and I care about where they grow up. What's the morale where they grow up? I want them to have opportunity, of course. But these are things I'm thinking about, and I'm not afraid to leave if I have to leave. I don't want to leave. Like, it's great. But I have options. And so cryptos really opened my eyes for that. I tell people when I got into real estate, that I made friends all over the United States, really good friends too. When I got into crypto, I made really good friends all over the world. And it's really, really unique in that regard. And that's why I love this space so much is, man, you look at you're across the world,
friends. We've never met physically, but we've known each other a while. We're good friends. You're the friend. You're certainly a friend of Crypto7. And I think you've got more than one, going back to your frog analogy, which I liked. I think you've got more than one leg out the saucepan. I think you're up there having a drink and a cocktail and smoking a cigarette, watching the chaos below.
Waiting. I'm like, okay, I'm going to watch the shit show, and hopefully the shit show kind of simmers a little bit. And it can. And if it does, if he gets in office, man, I mean, that's one of my 5 rockets, my rocket ship to the moon is, Trump getting in office. And I think, we would pump so freaking hard. We'd probably see one of the biggest bull runs in crypto history, followed by a recession in 2025, 26, maybe 27 if they get the can down the road far enough. And because he'd have to clean up the mess eventually that was created, during this time. So
I think just as a positive note, I don't think either we need to wait until see who wins the election for.
I don't think so either. We'll start pumping into it.
We've had now 6 months of mid-cycle correction, and what happens is, like as Tangent describes, it's like a pressure cooker. So that pressure cooker is absolutely bouncing now. The lid wants to burst off now. Look, I was hoping that it would burst off this week, next week, that we'd front run October, because all the guys are saying 1st of October. That's when we get this finally.
Ember's the narrative right now.
So there is none, because things are very quiet. There's low volume. Exchanges have been manipulating things. I know we got to 65K last weekend and everything looked good. And apparently, I thought it was manipulation. It smelt of manipulation to me. And Ran Nuna, who's very, very in the know, he said a couple of the little exchanges they got together and basically wrecked people. And it's all liquidations and things. And of course, stop taking out so much leverage. Stop longing and shorting and using loads of leverage, and you'll stop it, because it's very easy for the exchanges to wreck everyone when there's not a lot of volume. So there's not a lot of volume. Everyone's been told nothing happens till October. Go and have a nice time in Martha's Vineyard, and that's what they're doing. And I think that, but I don't think we need to wait until the election. I think October, maybe the week before October, things will really get going then.
Towards the end of September.
As I've always said, as long as we don't get more black swans, and of course, one of the nice scenarios is now, and we talked about this a moment ago, I think the Telegram founder will be released because, as I say, there's a lot of money at stake. I think the French cannot afford, they've got enough problems they cannot afford financially as well. They can't afford to lose a deal with the United Arab Emirates or on those jets. So I think they'll free him. I think they were flexing anyway. I mean, it would be absolutely insane if they tried to keep him, I think. So that then could cause a bit of a pump, because of course we've been pushed down by the bad news. We would be lifted by the good news. And I see Bitcoin's over 60,000, which, as I say,
it's good.
It's so good. It's so good. Zenis, Durab, K Crypto, everyone in the house. It's so good because
Franklin, Bright Light. What's up, guys? Thanks for all tuning in. One more talking. I want to talk about this, and then I definitely want to go into what you're creating right now. Which we support all builders. We support utility protocols. We love people building on this chain. We love meme coins, all of it. We want people to bring adoption to this chain. But before we really dive deep into that, what is your thoughts on Grayscale? I know you talked about it today on your show. I'd love to kind of dive a little deeper. What is your thoughts on Grayscale and their dumping? How much more ETH do they have? What do you think? How much longer are they going to continue to do this? With Bitcoin, it lasted like a month, I felt like. And then then they were done. Is that right? Or am I wrong with that?
It went on a bit longer than that, but the amount of buying from the other institutions with the Bitcoin ETF managed to shade the amount that Grayscale was selling. But in this instance, they've been not buying as much of the Ethereum ETF. There's a bit of confusion around the Ethereum ETF. And you hear this being said in the mainstream finance channels. They say that the institutions aren't very interested in the Ethereum ETF. Nothing could be further from the truth, guys. They were demanding an Ethereum ETF. They know what's coming for Ethereum, and they wanted to have an ETF before the banana zone, before the bull market. But Grayscale are selling their Ethereum from the old trust much faster and more aggressively than anyone expected. And they've still got billions to sell. I think they've still got like 8 billion left to sell. Unfortunately, they've sold about 3 billion.
How much have they sold so far?
Just under 3 billion. And of course, Bitcoin is now nearly 4 times bigger than Ethereum. So when 4 billion sold through Ethereum is the equivalent of 16 billion sold through Bitcoin. So it's a big deal, guys. It's a lot of money. And I think what's happening is that the other institutions, which are absolutely so happy to have their Ethereum ETF, I mean, they demanded it. Larry Fink from BlackRock demanded an Ethereum ETF. He wasn't going to be out of this party. So they love their Ethereum ETFs, but they're seeing how much Grayscale is selling. And I think they're saying to all their clients, look, you just exit liquidity for Grayscale at the moment, so give it a while, which is incredibly frustrating for Hexagons and Polskins, because we've been watching a depreciating asset more or less for 3 years now, 3 years next month. And but they don't give a monkey. So for them, it's like, okay, we'll just wait 6 months until they've sold it all. When are they going to sell it all? And so that's where we are. I mean, Ethereum will do very, very well in this bull market. It's got two things going for it. Larry Fink wants to tokenize the world through Ethereum, which is a huge tick in terms of getting to 10K, 20K. And also, it's got the Ethereum narrative. It's got that, yeah. It's got the ETF narrative. And
right.
So, when everyone's rushing to crypto, when we finally get to retail coming in and they come in at 74K Bitcoin, they're going to be so confused. I mean, I'm so confused. We're all confused. There's been 2 million coins launched in the last 2 months. So they're going to be like, oh, what the hell am I going to buy? I know ETFs. I know that gold has an ETF. I know. I'll buy the ones with ETFs. Which there's 3 ETFs now. There's Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Solana. And the reason that I say there's 3 ETFs now is because big guys that have got lots of connections, like Raoul Pal in Goldman Sachs, etc., telling everyone that Solana is going to get an ETF. So effectively, it has the ETF narrative. If you see what I mean. So there's effectively now 3 coins that have an ETF because Solana benefits from the ETF narrative. Solana has lots of good-looking ambassadors they pay to go do the conferences and things. It's one of the great things that Mati has maintained the conferences. Investors look at cryptos and they look at different things. They go, oh, it's got a cult, great. Does it have a conference? Great. That cult, by the way, that's fantastic because I'll sell on those cult members' heads at the top of the market. That's why they like cults. But they like cults and they love cryptos that can organize a conference. So well, props to Matty for doing that. And it is where we are in the market. That I saw a bit of backlash from the community over people organizing a conference 6 months in advance. Conference should be organized 12 months in advance. You get a better deal. You get better speakers.
Oh, work.
Yeah, I've organized a lot of conferences. You organize them 12 months in advance, not 6 months in advance. People say, oh, they're organizing it to get money. It's just to get money. And then, oh, it's $2,000. Oh, Jesus Christ.
For me, I don't care if he needs money to do the conference. It takes a lot of time, energy, effort. Like, I'm an entrepreneur. I'm a capitalist. I do things because I want to make money too. Like I create business because I want to make money. Like a conference takes a shit ton of work, a shit ton of time. It takes sometimes a shit ton of money. And like that stuff should be planned accordingly in advance. And I've done it for real estate events. It's not easy, guys. It's just not. It's like
I've companies that do conferences and they only do 2 a year. So, when Matty's doing them and doing the streaming every day and everything else, a shout out to Matty anyway. Fantastic.
Yeah, especially the live ones.
Where we are in the community that, someone like Matty, and Matty's just an example, could be anyone, but he's probably spent a fortune of his own money promoting other people's brands.
120%.
Yeah, and then things like that. I mean, I don't even know if he's involved with the latest conference. So don't get me wrong. I'm just sort of like using examples of things, but it's just where we are in the sentiment. And I get it, guys. I get it. But and then when we had the Pulse Latina thing, after that, I mean, I thought that was so obviously a scam. I couldn't believe it.
Yeah. I did not touch that with a 10-foot pole, man. I was like, I would see her on my Twitter. She would reach out to me. I'm like, who are you? Like, why are you reaching out to me? Like, I'm married, right? Like,
hey man, I'm jealous now. She didn't reach out to me, but no, I thought it was obviously a scam. And if I'd been scammed by Pulse Latina, I'd keep quiet about it. I'd use it as a life learning lesson. But they're like raising money to try and find her. I don't know. How did they get on with that? Did they manage to find her or what?
They found where she lived. They found the gym that she works out at. They found a lot of information on her. I don't know if they found her, but they got really close. And I know the guy who was spearheading that.
I mean, that's all really sketchy as well. I mean, well, we'll find the little good-looking Spanish girl. We'll leave these guys alone who've all ripped us off, but we'll track her down, and send money to this wallet address to find her. I mean, that sounds like another scam. I mean, it was just so funny.
Right. As they're going down there and
Move.
interviewing all those hot Spanish girls, and
But I think after that, I think now it's like the community are like, no more coins, no more projects. That's it. I've been scammed by Pulse Latina. No more. Well, unfortunately we've got a blockchain now, so you do actually need some good things that you can rely on, some dependable things from honest citizens that are actually going to populate that blockchain. Otherwise,
120%.
Yeah, with Pulse Chain being a bigger beast than Hex, and Hex being bonded in liquidity to Pulse Chain, you can see the problem. It's back to the Titanic analogy. You've just got now. Unfortunately, Hex has just got another cabin on the Titanic, and if the Titanic goes down, so does Hex. So we need that blockchain to have things. But obviously we've gone one extreme to another. It's like But
you're the second builder we had on this week. I had Jexa on yesterday, and he was diving deep into the protocol that he's launching, which I love because I'm a node validator, and he's creating something that makes node validating easy for everybody who wants to do it on Pulse Chain. And so, yeah, this is a good segue, man. Talk about what you're doing. Talk about the project that you're building. I know it's kind of a meme coin, but not really. It's intertwined with the horse racing community. You can talk about that too. Talk about your hobby with horses. You race them, you jump on. Like, give me a little context with that.
Sure, man. I saw some of your stream yesterday with the guy that's doing the liquidity thing.
Jexa,
that sounds good. Jexa, yeah, I've seen him before as well. It comes across very well, doesn't he? So if you haven't seen that, everyone, do watch that. This is Corey interviewing Jexa yesterday. It was very good, and that looked really interesting. Well, that's exactly the sort of thing I'm talking about. Yeah, in terms of in my coin, I think the first thing I'd say is I never had any intention of launching a coin. It never even crossed my mind. And if I was looking to launch a coin to make some money, then I would have done it ages ago. I'd done it ages ago. When I was getting, 300-400 people watching me live, and I wouldn't. So that's, I guess, the first thing to say. What's the next thing to say? I think that's what never crossed my mind. So yeah, that's right. The show jumping and things. So
yeah,
that's the other reason. Is 12 months ago when I'm assisting my daughter with her show jumping career, and 12 months ago we were going to these little places that have got like one portaloo and a burger van, and she was winning there, and that was it. Little places. And because her career is going very well, because her dad helps her and things, and she's got great coaches and things, and she's got great balance, and she's very brave. So her career is going very, very well. So we found ourselves in top level show jumping already, and it's really weird because everyone you meet, even during the day, they all say the same thing. What do you do? And they're all very, very interested in crypto. So we're promoting Liquid Loans there, and Liquid Loans are giving us some decent sponsorship for it.
I see that.
Go pulsechain.com. There you are. A little bit of branding. Thank you very much. I'll pay you later for the marketing.
I love it.
Yeah. So there are like, and I've just been at Chepstow for 4 days, Chepstow International, and they all ask the same question: what do you do and things? And basically, the name of the game in show jumping is massive B2B networking, the stuff that you're very good at. And I've seen you doing it very well and onboarding guys with Lambos very recently and things. You go on all the super yachts.
He's bringing in 480,000 into Pulse Chain. So, I mean.
Well, congratulations, man. Well done on that. Yeah, that's phenomenal. Has he invested already, or is he in the process of investing?
In fact, he just got his Trezor today.
Superb. He's also holding his hand.
Yeah,
that's exactly what I'm going to be doing with the show jumping world.
That's it.
It's exactly like that. And I was saying earlier today in the stream, I used to represent the UK commercial property industry, and we used to go to this international conference in MIP in Cannes, and it was just off the scale, and some of the things which were going on there and things. And I thought, oh, okay, so this isn't just about property; it's about all sorts of other things, guys. Let's just leave it there in case some kids are watching. But it was absolutely off the scale, and it's a bit like that in the show jumping world. That the horses are almost an add-on. That these guys are all there. I think there are a lot of tax advantages in owning horses. Yeah, you got it. And I think there are a lot of advantages in owning horses on a tax deductible write-off, what it's saying, Because these horses are worth like $200,000, $500,000.
Wow.
If something was to happen to a horse, then it's basically just written off and you can set it against the business. There's all sorts of things going on there. Anyway, I looked around, successfully promoting liquid loans there, as you can see.
Mm-hmm.
They really like their stable coin and they like to be able to move large amounts of money around all the time. They're constantly buying horses and moving them to Dubai and things. Florida's a lot of customers in Florida. They're moving these horses around the world, buying them in great quantities. As I say, they're like a couple 100,000 each or more.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of money in it, and they're very interested in stable coins. Of course, you've got the big problem. They can't find any show jumping horses for $10,000, which is the limit when they start asking questions. So they're loving it. The reactions I'm getting on crypto are mega. And I thought, okay. And so that's great. And I thought, well, they could really do with a community coin because there's no penetration, unlike with F1, where you've got Binance and crypto.com are all there. There's no penetration from cryptos. So I thought, I'm uniquely positioned here. I've got the channel. I've obviously well linked in Pulse Chain.
Mm-hmm.
Just like you holding that guy's hand, getting him set up with the Trezor, with the guy with the lime green Lambo, getting him set up and getting him in Pulse Chain. That's exactly what I'm going to be doing with the show jumping. I had one person say, well, why don't you just promote Pulse Chain? Well, I do, because they can't get to my coin without getting Pulse Chain, particularly if it's a pre-sale. The public pre-sale is now open. If anyone's interested, check out my stream from today. There's a 2,500 words on it. I've committed to put more in writing. So I'll just build
kind of like a white paper a bit.
It's going to be. It's probably half a white paper at the moment. So it'll probably be a long white paper. I mean, it only took me about half an hour to write 2,500 words. I'm not bad at writing, so I will just build on that and things. And if people have got things, I would like a bit more clarity on this, a bit more clarity on that. I'm not calling it a sacrifice. I'm calling it. Firstly, it's capped. I'm calling it a pre-sale because I think there should be certain expectations on a founder. I don't think I want to be saying no expectations. So the certain things you can be having expectations from me on. One of them is I'm never going to launch another coin because if the coin is successful, why would I need to launch another one? And if the coin is a flop, why should I launch another one? Why should I be allowed to launch another one? Another thing is I see a lot of people launching a coin and then so you get that thing, people launch a coin and then a week later they launch another coin. I'll never do that. So that's one commitment I've put in writing. It's in my mini white paper, if you like, which is in the description of today's stream. Another commitment I'm having is never to stop shilling my coin. So you see a lot of people, there's a lot of fanfare at launch and then it all goes quiet. Not with me. You know, it's rumored that it was only me and the Kiwi guy that streamed every day through 2022, and the Kiwi guy doesn't get any views. So, you know, I'm never going to give up, is what I'm saying. I'm never going to give up. The Kiwi guy made a big mistake actually because he watched me at the Pulse Chain conference and he was critical of me, and then after that his views just went. It's never a good idea to be critical of Crypto 7, but so I'm never going to give up promoting it. I don't care what the price does. I'm never going to give up promoting it. And then there are mechanisms to make sure that it has a fantastic price chart. As founder, I'm never going to sell any coins. I might give some to people for marketing and whatever else, you know. Yeah. Maybe to get onto a big channel or something like that, you know. So I might be useful to have some for that purposes, but certainly I will never benefit from any of those. And then the plan is I may or may not draw some of my costs, which are considerable, for the show jumping. So Liquid Loans pays to have their branding at this top level show jumping. So it's only right that 7G, there's the branding. I like it. It's nice and simple, and there's the branding. So that's at these international show jumping events. And it's only right that the meme coin should wash its face and contribute to some of that. Now, because I'm drowning in crypto, and because I've done very well in Fetch and Solana and various other coins and gaming coins as well, Wagme Games and other coins and other gaming coins that did do quite well in 2023, but that seems a long time ago now, doesn't it, Corey? I will bankroll the whole thing. At the top of the bull market, I might turn around and go, okay, well, I spent 40,000, 50,000 promoting the heck. I mean, what meme coin gets to be at top level show jumping, which is akin to F1, same people, everything. I might say, okay, well, I spent 40, 50K, so I will draw that against some of the pre-sale, which I don't spend, which isn't using liquidity. I think that's perfectly reasonable. So that's the plan. So basically, never intended to launch a coin. My coin is a bridge from one super giga wealthy community, which is show jumping, to another super wealthy giga wealthy community, which is Pulse Chain. And I think it's going to form a very effective bridge, particularly as it's going to get promoted by Crypto 7. That's the plan. There are some other aspects to it, which I won't bore you with now, but there are some other mechanisms around bringing in Gulf State guys into the coin, because after launch,
That's great.
Yeah, we've got. Well, I'll give you an exclusive. I've not told anyone this. I'm not even told. Okay, you're getting an exclusive here now on DeFi Crypto Alliance. Good to see you, Mr. Crypto JSY, Red Squirrel, D Nice. Not seen D Nice before, but the other two guys, I see them in my chat a lot.
D Nice,
we've got a lot of same viewers, haven't we? Which is because we're very similar as people.
Yeah, we got 150 viewers right now. A lot of them are on Twitter. So, guys, if you are watching on Twitter, well, since we're touching on this topic, come over and smash the like and subscribe over on YouTube to help that algorithm so we can keep bringing the good word of crypto, entrepreneurship, and real estate and everything else in between all through this market cycle, guys. Help the show get on top ranks here so we can keep promoting this stuff that you guys love and adore. Okay, go ahead. Yeah, 155 now.
Yeah, and tap the bell because he's live stream only. None of this pre-recorded nonsense.
I know. I think I've done like maybe a handful of shorts to put up. And I need to start doing a little bit more than that when the short section of YouTube.
Yeah, it's good. It's good too.
It's good to boost your channel. And
I'm not having a go at anyone who does pre-recorded. Shout out to everyone that does pre-recorded.
What's the secret?
So now an exclusive. Oh, I forgot. No, I can't remember now. It's been so long. Your pitch was so long, I can't remember now. Sorry, it's gone. The exclusive is 7. 7 is me, obviously. G is a nod to the Gulf State because the Gulf State guys are very, very interested in the horses. I have a good friend who I was in business with for ages. We did very well together. He then went off and chased the dollar in Saudi. With Aramco, which is like I think they're like the world's biggest company now. Aramco, they're the second biggest, something stupid like that. He did very well at Aramco, and he's now a consultant on the east coast of Saudi. He has a number of billionaire friends. They have garages which look more like car parks filled with Ferraris and McLarens and Lambos, and it's just
sick. Yeah.
He's also like you. He's also very, very good with people. So he can charm. We stay in the UK. I don't know if you have this expression in the States. He can charm the birds from the trees.
Okay.
Anyway, that's what he's like, and he's very, very genuine. He's a bit like a Dane character, you know. You just trust him. He's a nice guy.
Yeah.
I said to him, I mean, this is all like subject to Pulse Chain, because if Pulse Chain is like not going up, then it's going to be a different matter. It's a very hard sell. But assuming Pulse Chain does what I think it's going to do, a lot of clever guys like you are saying we could easily 10x between now and Christmas. Even if we're 5xing or 3xing, then I think that's the mood music, the background. He can bring some of those guys, and it's for me then to hold their hand, like you have done with this guy, exactly the same as you've done with this guy for $500,000 with the Lambo. I'll hold their hands. I'll show them how to use a bridge. I'll set them up with self-custody, and I'll get them into 7G. That's the plan. So there's a clear plan. I can't say guaranteed. No, and as I say, if we almost had a disaster, because if the Nvidia numbers had been bad, then we would now be 80% below all-time low for Pulse Chain, no doubt about it. At least I can't sell that. Now I can sell. I'm a good salesman. Yeah, I can sell sand to the Arabs, and that's a good pun with the current situation. But I can't sell that. Yeah, I'd like to see anyone sell something that's 99.9% down.
It's tough.
I can't. Nobody can sell that, dude. Not even in a tight Pulse Chain t-shirt, you know. So no one could, not even Hodpril could sell that to me, you know. So I think not even Hodpril in a tight Pulse Chain t-shirt could sell that to me, you know. So I think we need a little bit of help from the OA and the Godwell and whoever else, or your friend that you're getting in for $500,000, because we know that $500,000 that moves the dial in Pulse Chain.
It does, especially when you start stacking them. When you get this guy here, this guy here, this guy here. Our biggest one we nailed down, and he hasn't fully deployed yet. He's probably about halfway, and we nailed him down about this was like 10 months ago. But he brought in $3 million, and he's slowly deploying. Now he's got some Ethereum too, of course, like we explained the risk, as you're going down the risk corridor, like how you explain, like, your upside's way greater, but also there's some downside there versus the Ethereum, where here's where you'll be looking at, here's your upside. And we explain all that. And so he still has quite a bit of Ethereum, but he's inching in. He's inching in as he's getting more comfortable, right? They have to get comfortable.
I need to talk to you because I need to talk to you about how you buy $3 million worth of Pulse Chain without running the price up on
very
yourself.
slowly. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. He's been just slowly. This is like over 10 months, right? So he's been very slowly DCing.
Different wallets, so it's not obvious that it's a repeat buy. I mean, because
he'll send over 50 grand here, 20 grand here. Maybe it's another 10 grand. Like he's not sending over $1 million over the bridge. No.
Yeah, because then that would cause a massive price spike.
Well, and we discussed this too. I have friends, they've been on the show. I love these guys, but they love to front run wallets like that. They love to go and buy, and then they'll see a wallet like that coming over the bridge. And of course, they're going to assume like, oh, he's probably going to buy Pulse X, at least some, right? You're going to put some of that money in there, and they'll front run those wallets, and then they'll dump on that guy's head. And so, like, I know this, and so I educate him on that. I'm like, look, man, as we're coming over the bridge, we got to be careful how much we're sending. We got to be careful of the amounts, because there are guys who are really good at this game, and they understand, and then we don't want them dumping in your head. So,
That's really interesting. Absolutely not. We don't want those plebs that are just watching what's going on, just getting a quick arbitrage on that one.
That's why they're making privacy pools over on Pulse X. They're testing it because a certain somebody got tired of getting dumped on his head every time he was moving money over the bridge. It's like he's doing it out of a necessity, which I love, because it will finally have this like first to market with an EVM chain with privacy. Hasn't been done yet. And so, it is a bit of a problem that we've seen in the ecosystem, because we do have guys in our ecosystem who are really good at chain analysis, really good at wallet tracking, really good at wallet-like behaviors. They know what a wallet's going to do when they're crossing a bridge. They know what they're going to buy. They know what they're going to sell, or whatever it may be. They're very good. That's all they do all day long. All they do is sit in front of their computer or their spreadsheets, and they watch. They just watch. And
absolutely.
Crazy.
So just going back to, I've given you the exclusive or some of the secret source. I have to stress, so you can have expectations on me. And in terms of the price performance, you can't have any expectations on me, obviously. But I mean, right. You can see that my commitments in various ways: not to launch another coin, not to stop promoting it, not to benefit from my own coin, not to sell any of the pre-sale if I sell any for at least 16 months, 18 months. So that there's various commitments with me. But obviously, I've let you guys know what some of the clever ideas we've got are, and they're more than ideas, because we've had conversations. These are the numbers we think we can bring, but at the end of the day, it does rely on Pulse Chain going up. I think I've currently it looks like I've launched the public pre-sale at the worst possible time. But assuming that we do get Banana Zone in activating on 1st of October, and because the pre-sale runs to the end of the year, or when Pulse Chain is ripping for several weeks, whichever comes first, I think I've timed it perfectly. But as I say, it makes me extra stressful, things like the NVIDIA numbers, because I know that if the NVIDIA numbers had been bad, then we would have completely dumped, and then nobody would have been interested in my coin, and everyone would have called me a scammer, and I'd have had difficult months on the PR side until we started to pick up. But and also we'd have gone down to levels we wouldn't want to go down to, because you start to invalidate, how it is. You start to invalidate all the structures and the 4-year cycle, and you're going well below the bull market support band. It's not good. So thank goodness it didn't happen. And so we don't need to worry. But as I say, everyone should be really happy, because we have had a huge, like I said, I think we're over 60,000 right now, which is absolutely tremendous, because I didn't want to go down below 50K again, let alone 30 something.
Right. It's Ethereum 2,500 right now. I think last time I checked, it was somewhere around there.
Somebody said to me today in my chat, when are PLS and PLSX going to go up? And I said it's very simple. It's when Ethereum gets to $3,000. So you know, when Ethereum go to $3,000. Well, you talked about the issue here is with the Grayscale selling, so it might be a bit delayed. It's got nothing to do with the fact Vitalik's got a girlfriend. It's got nothing to do with the fact
that's what Tommy said. He says because Vitalik's got a girlfriend now.
Yeah, shout out to Somi. It's worrying from a kidnap risk, but I mean, it's worrying in case, you know, I mean, it doesn't look like Vitalik can take care of himself very well, you know, if he gets cornered on one of his student travel holidays, but I mean, with his girlfriend. But I mean, it's worrying from that perspective of they might be able to get hold of whatever crypto he can get hold of. But I think probably it's dual person authenticator. I think you have to. So I think he's probably got various controls in place there. So yeah, that's what we're waiting for. Really, is for Ethereum to go up. Unfortunately, it's a really clever idea to tie your wagon to Ethereum, assuming Ethereum's going to go well. And
I agree.
As we said earlier in the stream, it will go well because you've got the two really strong narratives of BlackRock plans to tokenize the world through Ethereum, and also it's got the ETF. And these are two massively strong narratives. Currently, everyone's saying, "Oh, buy Solana, just buy Solana," you know. Nah. I don't personally think Solana's going to get an ETF anytime soon, and there we are.
Yeah, that's interesting, man. I mean, if we can just keep Grayscale from dumping on BlackRock's head, like literally Grayscale just dumping on BlackRock's head, that's got to be frustrating for them and their investors. And I didn't really think about that until I watched your show today. I'm like, wow, that is got to be extremely frustrating for those guys and their investors, because they have a lot of investors that are backing them a lot. So
yeah, and I think they have a fiduciary duty to tell those investors, look, Grayscale is selling crap out their old trust. You're better off waiting a couple of months. So I think most of them are saying, okay, then I'll wait a couple of months until they've stopped selling. And then just some of their clients are saying, no, I've got itchy trigger finger. I just want some Ethereum now on the ETF. So some of them are buying, but I think they're all telling their clients, I think they have to. I think they have a fiduciary duty to tell their clients that Grayscale across the road are selling a metric shit ton of Ethereum every day. You know, like a metric shit ton.
It's insanity, man. I mean, oh gosh. So yeah, once we get through that storm, which will probably line up, man. I mean, to be honest with you, I think all these things are going to line up right around October.
Isn't it funny? October, yeah. Isn't it funny how that happens in crypto, that these things just seem to miraculously line up? I mean, I say, oh, we had a massive lucky escape with NVIDIA, but because of the two other black swans, and if we had the bad results from an NVIDIA, that would have really wrecked us. But maybe it just was always
didn't happen. And it's like,
it didn't happen, miraculously didn't happen. And
here we go, continuing along with the cycle like always. And I mean, the cycle is played out like almost 90%, 95%. You know, it's never perfect, but it's paid out to the T of the last 4 years. I used to fall for the narrative like, oh, left translated cycle, maybe that's a thing. Maybe the recession is coming this year. Nah, man, we're right on cue, right on track for the 4 years.
Okay, GDP numbers have just come out; they're up, and they were expecting, I think, 2.9. We got 3 or something like that. And I think Jerome has actually achieved something. I think he's achieved his policy objectives largely with a soft landing. I think we're going to get a soft landing. As I say, GDP's up. You know, AI. I think is going to continue booming for the next 12 months.
Right.
I think we're okay. You know, I mean, I would recommend, if we get Banana Zone 1st of October, as everyone's saying we will, and one of the nice things is we don't need 3 months of giant green candles to get life-changing gains in Q4. If we get like 1 really good month and maybe 2 weeks really good, and then, you know, 2 sideways and 4 red, right, it's still enough to get us so we can see the shores of Monaco. I really think most of the people that are watching your channel now are going to be won't be able to believe it. And, you know, we're all going to get girlfriends. I think that it's going to be really, really good. You know, so long as we don't get too many more black swans. And if we do get black swans, they don't look like they've been bred in Jurassic Park, you know?
I agree. I agree 100%, man. Oh, man, anything else you want to talk about on your coin, your launch? You know, shill whatever you want here.
Not really. I mean, I think, as I say, I think how it's going to appear right now, it appears as if I've launched it at the worst possible time because the sentiment's rock bottom. As I say, the community are going crazy, going ape shit over the fact that people are trying to organize a conference, or after Pulse Latina,
All the builders.
all coins are bad. And I think people can see this isn't a contract address launched on Twitter with a little note underneath saying, there you go, degens, do your own research. You know, I think we've, you know, we're clearly a lot of thought. Everyone says you've clearly put a lot of thought, and I have. If anything, I've overthought it, but I delayed and delayed until I knew the timing was right. What's critical is that the pre-sale runs over a period when the base chain goes up a lot, like 3x. Because if the base chain goes up a lot and someone like Crypto7's marketing it and at the events, I think you could hopefully hope for something like a 9x, but I can't make price predictions as founder. Yeah. But on paper, that's the theory. If we get enough launch buzz, if we get one or two people, the objective for me, and I've explained how I'm going to do it, is make the price chart look completely different to all the other meme coins. I don't like the term meme coin. I think it's too serious to be meme coin. That's another aspect with the final comment on my coin. The show jumping guys are all quite, you know, things have to be done a certain way, you know, the attire and how you speak, everything else. We know that the Saudi guys are particularly like that, you know, and we saw that. So, you know, I'm a huge fan of Richard Hart, a massive fan of Richard Hart, always will be. But the Saudi guys expect the PR to be done in a certain way, certain words and language avoided, that sort of thing. And so that's something I'm very mindful of. And so it wouldn't have been possible for me to, there's an awful lot of Saudis in show jumping. It would not have been possible for me to promote Pulse Chain directly to them. I have to do it through either liquid loans that have a completely different, they have a much higher level of sort of, and they have things like GoPulseChain.com, and they have a very good way of doing things. Guys like Walrus, and obviously I have control of my own messaging and marketing. And if I was just sort of like setting them loose on Hex Twitter, then they ain't gonna buy, guys. They ain't gonna buy. Yeah, where's Pulse Latina? Let's raise money for Pulse Latina. Finally, you know, what the hell's this?
Oh man. Well, where can people find you also on, obviously most of you guys are probably following them on your YouTube, but go ahead and share your YouTube just in case there's some guys here who are not following you.
Well, you get new people, don't you? I mean, we are getting new people. I noticed that the crypto YouTube channel, which is a fantastic metric for where we are with sort of sentiment and things, is
we're talking about in the green room. Yeah.
Yeah, the crypto YouTube is just starting to pick up. Look, it's a bit of a bee's dick, but it is picking up a bit, you know. I mean, think it's a bee's dick on Viagra, but we are starting to see some more views. I'm not talking about my channel or your channel. I'm talking about this is
in general.
All the crypto YouTube channels are starting to pick up a little bit. I can see that from about June, July, August. We're starting to pick up, and yeah, just Crypto7, nice and easy. Crypto7.
Awesome, man. Yeah, guys, go follow Crypto7. He's got some amazing content. I love that he likes to dig into data, kind of like today. And liquid loans. There we go.
Yeah, stop selling.
Take a look. I use the shit out
against all your Hex and Pulse Chain.
I used the shit out of liquid loans for a very long time. Same with the other stablecoin protocols. So, guys, yeah, go follow Crypto7, man. He's bringing the good word of Pulse Chain not only to us, but you know, now his show jumping buddies, his horse jumping buddies, which is great, man. We appreciate that. I'm excited to see where this goes, and if we're able to onboard some of these, you know, whales and sharks, that'd be amazing.
Yeah, and I mean, it's if people like the idea of bridging communities, I don't think.
Yeah, I do.
Nobody's really done it, and so everyone thinks, oh, this is just Crypto7 shilling to the same people. I'm letting you know about it because I think you're going to like it. But, you know, and also because I can't get one of these Saudi guys into the pre-sale because I'll just buy all the bloody coins. You know, if you get them interested, they're not going to they're not going to want a small amount. They're not going to want less than 6 figures, are they? So they're just not. So, I mean, if you get them in, it's like, so I thought it'd be a nice thing to involve people in. So, but yeah, it's going well, and it's going very well, and we're getting good interest from inside and outside the community. But yeah, that's the concept of it, is to bridge communities. And I think you mentioned it now that we've got a blockchain, we have to have all sorts. It's fantastic. We've got, I call them the Joe Class memes, you know, but it's fantastic. We've got the cheeky memes, you know, the things that do a sort of like guerrilla marketing on X and things, you know, make a nuisance of themselves for a couple of weeks on people's Twitter pages. But, you know, we need other things as well. And they're great. And that's got an ecosystem. And I'm not knocking it. And, you know, it's great. But I mean, it's just not my bag. I'm too old to be involved in that sort of thing. But I am uniquely positioned to be involved in show jumping. And there's a need for some more mature, serious things as well, and some more complex projects like the one you were discussing yesterday on your channel. Check that out, guys. You haven't checked it out. And liquid loans and everything else. So there's just a need for lots of different things. And there's also just a need for something like, yeah, that's reliable. That's not going to be a rug pull. You know, because I've done everything I've always stuck to everything I've said I'd do. And I'm the guy and the Kiwi guy that streamed all the way through every single day of the bear market. So you can rely on me to not. I've never sold a hex, never sold a pulse chain. So you can rely on me. I would never rug pull people, and B, I don't need to rug pull people. So, you know.
Yep. That's great.
Cheers, buddy.
I appreciate everything you do for the community. Thank you so much, and keep at it, guys. Hit the like and subscribe on your way out. I'll see you tomorrow.
Yes. Hit the like and subscribe. And we'll have to have you and Dane on. When's Dane back? We'll have to have you on. And
yeah, anytime, man. Reach out. Love to come on. And guys, see you tomorrow on Open Mic Friday.
Nice to see you, Real Billionaire Boys. I see Real Billionaire Boys and Darren. Good to see you guys.